Hey guys, and welcome back to the next video on my YouTube channel. This time it's sneak peek number 2 for the summer update, and you have a lot of balance changes, a couple of new levels when it comes down to heroes, spells and troops, so that's going to be amazing. I will show you all of the new stats, like all of the new stuff which will come out, and after that immediately some gameplay on how to use that and how to adapt and what I think will be the new meta and what could change in the future. But always remember, all of those stats can still change. They're not fixed yet. So this means if there's something that might change, keep that in mind if you see all of the stats. We will start with the Queen and we will end with the Earthquake spell. The first one is the Queen, like I said, with the new levels. Overall on the left side you can see like the old one. On the right side you can see all of the new stats, which means 5 new Queen level, 60 to 65, which is a huge step, but I'm not sure whether it will be too much of a change. Like the ability changes as well, 1 new level, but let's see whether it's actually too much already. But I think it could be already like, it could be fine. I don't think that it's too big change. The King is getting 5 new levels as well, but over there it's pretty much the same. If you see the stats, it's not getting like too much. I think in the ability, which we'll see like in a second, they're like 80 health, which he's like getting more for the ability, so it's not too much. So I think it will be pretty much fine with the 5 new hero level. But the next change is way bigger because the Warden is getting new levels as well, and over there it's not just 5, it's 10 new levels. You will get him from 30 to 40, which is a huge step, and you can see that in the stats, but especially in his ability, like his aura, which is like always around him. And you can see that over there with so many new percentage, like 20 new percentage. That's huge. That's actually insane. And that will be a lot to come over. We have to see how much it actually will change, but I think especially on like big attacks with hawks, loons, etc., that will be a lot. The new troop level will be the Golem, and there will be a little rework as well, so we will stick around for that as well. I will show that later. And then we have the new mortar level, which is kind of nice to have as well. I think especially for P.E.K.K.A Smash, to get rid of the bowlers, even maybe for Hawk Riders, if they are still around like buildings with high hit points like Expo, Wizard Tower and stuff, if you place them around so they can hit them. Could work. Let's see. The rage spell level, I think it was needed already like ages ago. Like Town Hall 8 has the same rage spell level as Town Hall 12, so I think it was needed. Poison level is nice as well to just help a little bit more about all those beefy units in the CC, like Lava Hounds, for example. And I will suggest a new one a little bit later. Hail spell level is new as well, which means air is getting even bigger boost, like rage and haste spell. I think air should be in a pretty good spot right now. And there's a new rework of the skeleton spell, and at the same time there's a new level, which means don't be confused by like there's a new level but the skeleton amount is getting like reduced. That's connected with the rework, and I will show you that in a second. The next one is the earthquake, and there's the rework as well, which means I will show that to you guys in a second. And a quick reminder, the stats on this one already wrong because Supercell changed it already. So this means it's not 4.6 tiles, it's 4.7. So not too big of a change, but on the lower level it's a little bit bigger. So let's jump into the first gameplay section, because that's actually the new skeleton spells, which means they kind of look like in Clash Royale, but how they work is actually they have a small shield, and as soon as they're getting attacked, like the first attack is getting blocked. It doesn't matter whether it's like 1 million damage or like only 1. The first attack will proc the shield and get rid of it, which means every skeleton kind of has 2 lives. So it will be interesting to see how it's getting used. I don't think that there will be a huge difference because it will get used in Suilalo attacks to get rid of the Queen. Maybe for more mass hawk attacks still to get rid of the Queen, but other than that I don't see any usage. I cannot see it. So there's the new earthquake spell. The radius is huge, and like you can see on the Inferno Tower compartment, it opened up from the outside right that into the core, which is like insane. So that would be kind of interesting for the base building, how that will turn out. And whether people will adapt or just say, okay, it's that big, we cannot really adapt to this. We just have to hope that it's not getting used too much or like it's too strong or whatever. So that would be interesting how this works. But I think we will see a lot of use of the earthquake. It might be really strong. And now we come to a thing which I think was needed like already way back then. And you can see what has changed because they changed the radius of the healers. Like healers are always having AoE heal, which means they have like, it's a certain area which they are healing. They're not healing one troop, they're healing an area and all of the troops are in there. So the radius of this got decreased from 2 times to 1.5, which is a little bit lower. But at the same time, we'll show you why I think it won't be too much, like it won't be a really huge nerf, because you can see P.E.K.K.A.s always tend to group up, which means healing will be still there. I don't think that's a huge change to the P.E.K.K.A. smash attack. I think we'll be still completely overpowered in compared to the other attack strategies. So that's kind of sad to see. They're still trying to do something, which is good, but I don't think that's the change we needed to have. The next one is the Golem change, because the Golem got not only a new level, they got kind of like buffed overall as well, like the death damage. And I think because of this, we might see Golem CCs in the future, especially against Mass Hawk or Mass Minor attacks. They are way better than the Lava Hounds. So that would be interesting to see whether they get used a couple of times to the defensive CC. I think they might be a good option. The next one, I want to show you 3 replays. The first one is P.E.K.K.A. Smash with Earthquake. The second one will be Bed Slap, because I think there might be a couple of more changes due to the healers. And the third one is the Queen Charge with Earthquake. Like, I think the Earthquake is like the really big change for this update. So we will see how it in the end turns out. Like, all of those fights are pre-recorded, so we will see how it turns out, I guess. But the first one, like I said, P.E.K.K.A. Smash with Earthquake, just to open up the entire core. What I tested as well is what really good is like if you could do the entry with the Earthquake, because you can get so far into the base, and then you can just use the Slammer for the back end. That's really good as well, and it worked pretty good for me. So that's really nice to see that there's like a couple of differences, but at the same time, in my opinion, I don't know, it's most effective, like the Earthquake, for spam attacks like Bed Slap or P.E.K.K.A. Smash. I think P.E.K.K.A. Smash is a little bit stronger because you don't have the spell capacity on the Bed Slap attack. Like you can see, you have maybe 1 rage, and then you need the rest kind of beds and freezes. So let's see how that turns out. But I think the Bed Slap attack is a bit more targeted for the healer change, because witches tend to spread, which means P.E.K.K.A.s always try to, or most of the time, tend to stick together in the base, which means as soon as there's one hole in the base, all of the P.E.K.K.A.s go straight through that. If there's a hole in the base, like for witches, they still tend to spread because they are like ranged troops, which means one couple of witches are going to the cannon on the right side, which is behind the wall. The other witches are going to the wizard tower, which is located behind the wall. So it's really hard for them to actually group up. If you manage to do so, the change won't be too big. But I think overall, Bed Slap got nerfed with this change more than actually P.E.K.K.A. Smash. So it will be interesting to see how, I don't know, like whether we will see that many more Bed Slaps, even though it's already not getting used too much, I feel like, in the qualifier, for example. So we will see, we saw way more P.E.K.K.A. Smash than Bed Slap. So I don't know. For me, that's still not the change I'm looking for. I still look for the change where the healers, or the healing of the healers, is getting reduced onto troops, because right now 100%, or healers are healing troops 100%, while they're healing heroes only 50%. Which in my opinion is good. They are not like overhealing heroes, but in my opinion, the healing on normal troops is just way too much. So let's hope for a change over there in the future to kind of get P.E.K.K.A. Smash in control, because it's kind of frustrating to see 90% of the attacks in the qualifiers in like high competitive clash being P.E.K.K.A. Smash, and it's kind of sad to see. Next one is an Earthquake Queen Charge Lalo attack, which is always nice to see, but in the, like, you can't use that too much. Like, you really have to get a base where it's actually working. For example, on this one, most of the expos on the other side, which means there's not too much point defense. That's the reason why you normally take a ram in front of you, because you need the actual tanking. Like if there are 3 expos firing at your queen while you have to take out the enemy clan castle, it's a little bit tricky. It takes some time. So that's like the huge issue with this strategy. But at the same time, if it works, it looks completely nice to watch and it's super cool. So I wanted to just throw that in there in the video. And like I said, keep in mind, a couple of sets still might change, but overall that's the balance changes for this next update. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, do you think that were like good changes, or did you expect something different? Or just let me know what you guys expected, what you guys wanted to see, and what you feel how this turned out in the end. My opinion is that, like I said, this one tiny helo change would have been better in my opinion, like the healing on troops. But except that, I like it. I like that we're seeing new hero levels. I still have to see whether the water level is a bit too much, but still I think it's nice that you're seeing new hero levels. At the end, you can still like nerf him or get like new defense levels. So that's always an option. So that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys had a nice video. And couple of things which I probably already forgot to mention is, first one, the blimp is getting like a small HP buff, which in my opinion won't make too much of a difference because the blimp is not getting used because of the how it works, not like because of the HP. So that's one thing. And yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, let me know what you guys think about the changes in the comment section below, and we will see you in the next video in 2 days.